carry that forward from here on as well. But I'll start with you first. And you talked about 14 thrust points that you have, and you talked about food processing is what you hope that will continue to surge even much better, higher from here on. You talked about the kind of numbers that we have seen already and the work that is being done right now. But the theme of the panel is envisioning the next decade when it comes to food as an industry. So would you say that the kind of investments, JVs, foreign collaborations, investments that we are doing, is it enough to nurture the next generation of food entrepreneurs and companies?
Thank you, Manisha. Thank you, Manisha, because I think it's an extremely important question. You know, if India really has to fulfill its potential, if India really has to deliver on the promise of not just being a self-sufficient country in terms of food security, but also catering to the needs of the world, I think we have to really augment our capacities. We have to do a lot more than what we are currently engaged in. The first thing I would strongly say, while we are doing some things right, I think there are certain things which we can get right. Just to give you a macro picture of what the current situation in the country is. India has about 41 crore acres of land which is arable, which is suitable for cultivation, which is suitable for agriculture and allied activities. We have more than 1,40,000 TMCs of water. 1,40,000 TMCs of water. A broad approximate number is 1 TMC can irrigate nearly 10,000 acres of land. A very approximate number. Even if you assume for a minute that out of the 140,000 TMCs of water, 70,000 gets evaporated, dried, etc., we still are left with 70,000 TMCs of water, out of which, unfortunately, only 20,000 has been tapped. 50,000 TMCs of water every single year, unfortunately, goes into the oceans, wasted. Now, what needs to happen in India is while we see the extremes of weather, people talk about climate change all the time. We are seeing extremes of weather. There are areas in India where we are completely dependent on rain, rain-fed crops and rain-fed agriculture. And then there are other areas which are perennially hit by floods and, the deltas, etc., which are perennially struck by abundance of water and abundance of, nature. What we ought to do, like in the case of Telangana, what we have done, we have completed and we have delivered the world's largest lift irrigation project, where we lift water from 82 meters above sea level and lift it all the way to 618 meters above sea level. We have completed this project with an investment of more than 1 lakh crore in a matter of 3.5, 4 years. Now, if Telangana, the newest state of India, can do this, why can't the rest of India do it as well? We have irrigated by this project 45 lakh acres of water, 45 lakh acres of land, and all the numbers that you just heard from our ministers in terms of agri expansion, in terms of dairy expansion, in terms of fisheries, in terms of storage capacities, all of this is a result of unwavering support, unflinching commitment to create more and more of these irrigation potential. Now, that is something that the rest of India needs to do. The second thing I'll also mention quickly, if India really has to ensure that we find that rightful spot, we have to focus on post-harvesting and what needs to be done to add value. Because the farmers are extremely hardworking. They are doing their best. With all of our support, in Telangana, we provide 24 hours of free power. We also provide them with quality seeds. We provide them with quality fertilizers. More importantly, we provide them with farm input assistance. We have already provided 65,000 crores of investment, farm input, through a program called as Raitu Bandhu.